get into Falcon and Winter Soldier. We will.
Oh, sure.
Where do you think you're going? I'm gonna sort it out.
I do not have a sorts situation of an animated thing for that.
Yeah, okay.
Yet. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's get into the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Or should we call it Captain America?
Well, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but...
Spoiler! Fuck you. If you haven't watched it, too bad.
So, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, if I have to give this an overall rating, 1 through 10,
sure,
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Ooh.
I thought it had moments, like it led me in with the initial sequence on the first episode, that like 10 to 15 minute crazy, chase scene with the helicopter and Falcon. Yep. It was great. A lot of fun. I can't say I love Sam being Captain America. Doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right. Never has, because I've always thought of him as a secondary character. I never really thought he had much depth. I still don't think his character has much depth. And I overall am not in love with the show. But I do like, I like Bucky's development from the beginning to the end. I thought that showed some definite depth. Like, I thought that he was a very 2D character to start. And as the show went on, it really dove into his background. And, whereas Sam's background, Falcon's background, it was kind of like, it just felt a little, I don't know.
Well, I love the Winter Soldier. He's my second favorite Marvel character after Doctor Strange. So.
And I liked his growth, and I would not be surprised if at some point they switch. Because I really I don't believe Falcon as Captain America. And I know what happened in the comics. I didn't really care for that either. To be honest, I would have rather seen Rhodes be Captain America. If they wanted to go in the African-American black route, if they wanted to go that route, because I feel like he has just a better, one, he's a better actor. Two, he's overall just has more depth to his character. He's more patriotic, in my opinion. He just seems like that. And he's not quite like, he's kind of in between Bucky and Captain America. Like he sides more with the USA, whereas Steve Rogers, there's nobody like Steve Rogers, and that's the problem, is that replacing him is incredibly tough. And I think they tried to have somebody who comes in, takes over the shield, and kind of just gives you that icky feeling, and then give it to Sam.
Oh, the old man from Up? Yeah, okay.
Kurt Russell's son.
What was it? Wyatt Russell, right?
Yeah. I think that it's just it didn't really work for me. I didn't really care for the villain this year. I didn't really care.
Carly?
Yeah, I didn't really care.
The Flag Smashers?
Yeah, I didn't really care for them that much. That wasn't great. I like how what's her name? Oh my gosh. She came back. I can't remember her last name.
What, Carter?
Yes, Carter. Agent Carter. I like her and how seems like she's taking a turn for the dark side, or has already done that, which is, I like that. I think that's good. She seems like she's playing both sides very well. Still to the point of where you're not 100% sure she's still a bad guy. Like, you're not 100% sure she's a bad guy, but you kind of think she's a bad guy. And I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could easily see her, you could very easily see her, playing the other side as an undercover agent, right? I mean, that's what she is. So, but it's also great to see this, because you're kind of like, oh crap. Like, or is Zemo playing this whole thing from the sideline? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
This is what I like. That I like. So I think second season is going to be better than the first season.
Yep.
And I hope that we get a little bit more to kind of give me a feeling that Sam is actually is Captain America. And because as of right now, I'm not really 100% sold. And I don't think I'd been sold if Bucky was either. I just think they shouldn't have done it yet.
Yep.
Maybe even if they had Captain America come back in like a post-credit scene and just like have a conversation with him and that other the other black guy who was
Elijah.
Yeah, who was the original super soldier, like, and they kind of sat down and talked together and then had that monument made, all that stuff. That would have pulled at my heart a little bit more. Like the way that it happened so fast and there was no kind of, I don't know. It just didn't, it kind of felt empty to me. So I don't know.
I'm higher on this show than you are. I went 8 out of 10 on it. I felt like it started strong and ended very strong. In the middle, there were some down points, which didn't suck me in quite as much as I was hoping to. There were some episodes that in the middle there where I kind of glazed over a little bit. But overall, I think it's a nice setup for the show going forward. There were a lot of, I am completely with you on the development of Bucky. His character is maturing. I actually even love the line where Falcon tells him, like, put in the work. Like, you actually have to put the work. Like, he literally tells him, put the work in. Yeah. You know, like, you're not getting it done. And that's why you're in this fucking malaise. And, and I like at the end how he confronted, the guy, and not confronted him, but like basically, spilled his guts to the guy about, I killed your son, and that was
like, that's heavy stuff.
This was very heavy,
got with him throughout the whole thing. Yeah, it was. And they gave you a little bit of heavy stuff with Sam and his sister and stuff like that, and the boat and all that stuff. But you knew at the end it was all going to turn out fine. And Bucky's side did not turn out fine. He had to like confess, and now he feels crappy, and he feels like he might feel a little bit weight lifted off his chest, but that guy feels terrible. Right. He might even feel okay, but you're not 100% sure because they didn't really go into it too much. But leaving it open like that kind of just gives you the...
They actually kind of avoided that scene a little bit. I mean, like he tells them, but then they sort of like cut away and it's just him leaving, walking out the door.
Yeah.
They didn't put in like that scene of him really reacting, like the old man really reacting and being like, I almost felt like that was like lazy a little bit, like they avoided the scene. Like,
well, he started
put in the work.
Like, you can see that he started to kind of like,
yeah. And maybe you didn't need it. Maybe my artistic vision isn't that great, but I don't know. I just felt like that was like a confrontation that I kind of needed to see, even if it would have made me uncomfortable. I still felt like it was something I would have wanted to see. I actually did like the whole sort of backstory with the boat and with his sister. I actually thought that was kind of a good filler. But there were some... There's definitely some holes here. There's some room for improvement, not improvement, but just more fleshing out of the story, so to speak. I agree with you that maybe as far as villains go, Carly and the Flag Smashers. I mean, it sounds like a band actually, but like it's
not even. It's like a teen band,
like a teen band. Like a. I don't know, maybe like a UK band or something, Carly and the Flag Smashers. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like
it's like one of those, those bands that they have in like the cartoons, Yeah,
it's right. Like
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah. So this is Carly and the Flag Smashers, and I just was like, all right, you needed some villain, you needed some antagonist.
They started off pretty good.
I guess this is the way to go.
Yeah.
So to me, that wasn't the strongest. There's just a lot. There were a lot of moving parts. You had, first of all, you had Falcon Winter Soldier, Carly and the Flag Smashers. You had, Helmet Zemo. You have, you've got Carter.
Zemo was good. Zemo was a good addition to that.
Completely agree. No. Yes. I'm glad they dusted him off. And then
Agent Carter was great too, I thought.
Yep. No, I'm not saying that they weren't necessary things, just a lot of moving parts.
Agent Carter actually seemed like more of a badass than everybody else.
Yeah, well,
I was just going in taking out like dozens of guys.
Yeah, no, she's definitely pretty. And then you get Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, and then you've got the other Captain America
Val.
Too. So
Val.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot of moving parts here going on, and some of it has been sorted out, and some of it has not. But it's a good show. I wasn't into it the way I was into WandaVision.
See, I wasn't into WandaVision really at all.
See, I loved WandaVision. Like WandaVision, I would give probably a 9 out of 10.
I haven't finished it.
But listen, good show. I'm very much looking forward to season 2, and just to see where it goes from here, cool. and how I think it'll be a deeper dive. Right. So, but overall, pretty good.
All right,
pretty good.
All right, now let's get into Mortal Kombat. Just briefly, we're not going to talk about it too much because I don't think we really need to. This movie for me wasn't. So they set you up. The 7 minutes that they give you ahead of time is deep. It has great dialogue. It has great feeling. It has a lot of power. It has some serious martial arts skill set.
Yeah.
And then it takes a different turn. It goes kind of like almost into a TV movie where it's corny dialogue, not much depth, but some crazy brutal fatalities and some fighting that's a lot of fun, but there's not a lot of reason for it. It's just kind of like people show up and fight and kick each other's ass. And that's fun. And it was a lot of fun. I finished this movie and I was like, that was awesome. Like, that was just a lot of fun. Like, holy crap, Kano is awesome. He's hilarious. He's so incredibly cool. Like, I sent you that text message in the middle of the night when I was listening to it.
Yes.
He was like, laser beams are so much
which I didn't understand until the
then
day
fireballs,
after.
you pussy.
Yeah. No, he was good. What's your number on this?
My number for this is going to be a 7.5.
Okay.
Just because it's two different, like, if they gave you the same dialogue and the same, like, the way that things were written and the heaviness of the beginning 7 minutes, if that was the movie throughout, holy crap, this would have been like a 9.5. Like, that would have been so incredibly impressive. But there was you didn't get the feels from any other characters. Like, this didn't lead to Cole. This didn't lead to all of these other characters that were out there that were kind of a part of this.
Yep.
It was Sub-Zero and Scorpion at the beginning of the movie that was epic. And they kind of give you a little bit more of it at the end, which is epic. Mm-hmm. But the stuff in between is kind of soulless and emptiness, but a ton of fun. It's like Godzilla King Kong. Yeah. But not quite as good. Because you still got some feels from King Kong and Godzilla when they were battling. Like, when Kong goes down and separates his shoulder, you're like, oh no, things like that.
And then he has to Martin Riggs it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when he does that stuff, you're like, yeah, that's awesome. But Mortal Kombat,
I remember thinking about you.
And there was no camaraderie either with these guys. Like, you want to see more camaraderie, like you got in the original Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
but is that so? Yeah, your boy.
I'm not.
Timmy says it was fun, but it doesn't hold a candle to the original. The original it's different, but yes, I agree because the camaraderie was better. And Mortal Kombat, the original, has a couple of, like, not all-time great martial art fight scenes, but Johnny Cage, I think he was fighting Scorpion. That's amazing. That's an amazing fight sequence.
There's obviously, speaking of Johnny Cage, going to be a sequel here.
Yeah. Yes. Obviously, and I really hope that they start to spread this out, and they could actually make this like a cinematic universe. And you don't have to make everything cinematic universe, but they could easily do that with this, as long as they get some different writers.
Here's my problem.
Or try a little harder in the writing.
So you and I are relatively close. I have it as a 7 out of 10. Okay. You have a 7.5. I loved it. It was just a fun, ridiculous popcorn romp.
Yes.
My biggest issue. He did. No, without a question. The swearing was he was just like, every time he dropped the F-bomb, it was just so perfect, which was like every other line.
The fatalities were pretty cool too. Some of them.
Yeah, no, they were. My biggest issue with the movie, and again, I mean, it's like, okay, you're trying to criticize a movie here that is just, it's sort of like Sharknado-ish in the sense that it's not really meant to tell like this tremendous story. Bad, but I'm with you though. Like, that opening scene was awesome.
Yeah,
it's really great. Right?
It's like high quality.
Yeah,
all around.
Like, that first scene, I was like, oh, shit! Like, this movie might be better than I expected.
Yeah. I assume that Timmy just posted, I hope the sequel has an actual turn. I think that's what the point is.
Okay, so he just stole my thunder because that's my problem with the movie. Where was the tournament?
Yeah.
Like, that's what Mortal Kombat is.
That's what I think that is going to lead up to.
And it was like they were actively trying to avoid said tournament. in this movie, because all you've got is like, we're gonna try and do this an underhanded way. We don't want to go toe to toe with you in a tournament, so we're just gonna try to kill you in another way.
Right.
Like that was actually my biggest issue.
They don't want them to get they don't want to get all their champions together, right?
Right. Like, so if it had been a tournament, I probably would have been in the 9 out of 10 range. Like,
they still need a better story, though.
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna rip them for the story. I mean, you're basing a movie off of a video game. Anytime that you base a movie off a video game, I'm gonna give you a little bit of leash there to hang yourself with. But the thing that was the one part that killed me was, where's the tournament? You're like actively trying to avoid it, whereas you should be competing in it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I liked it though. I really did. Like, I was in fact, I got through the movie and I was surprised that the runtime was like an hour and 50, because I was like, damn, this felt like maybe an hour and 20 or something. Like, it went by fast.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was like, it was good. It was
fast-paced,
action from end to end,
funny,
very fast paced. But that opening was like 10 out of 10. The opening scene with Scorpion and Sub-Zero before they are really Scorpion.
Even the fight
Sub-Zero.
sequence at the end was pretty darn good, too.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah. Really, I mean, yeah, and I loved seeing him come back as Scorpion, saying, I've come back from hell.
Get over here. And they cleaned that up, too, a little bit. It wasn't as muffled as it was in the trailer.
Right. Yeah. But it was really well done. It was, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Yeah.
It was just stupid, silly fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Lots of fun. All right.
So are we on to OFN now?
Yes, we are. We are going to get on to the Wheel of Destiny's OFN.
This was a lot easier for me than I thought it would be.
It was not easy for me.
Is that what she said or he said? No.